Hi, I'm James Caan. I wrote the novels of Return of the Jedi, Poltergeist, Indiana Jones, and the Temple of Doom.
Hey, I'm UFC strawweight Rana Marcos.
Hey, it's Tyler from Theory of a Dead Man.
Hey, I'm Tim Coates. Hi, this is Scott Coker, president of Bellator MMA.
Hey guys, I'm Canadian Olympian Lauren Susselman.
Hey guys, this is Mia Kang, Sports Illustrated swimsuit model and Muay Thai fighter.
Hey everybody, what's happening? This is Zach Wild from Black Label Society.
Hey everybody, this is Devin Townsend, and you're listening to the Toddcast podcast. Enjoy.
And what a week you're in for. One of our three guests on this podcast is Sports Elite, both as a pro player and as a league commissioner. And now he's moved on to the NHL. He's a CBO. Now, as a Canadian, you're almost expected to watch hockey religiously. And why not? It's our official sport. And so is lacrosse. Leaving NLL commissioner Nick Sakiewicz is a guest this week. He's moved on after 6 years on the job. He's now, as mentioned, a chief business officer for the Arizona Coyotes.
Yeah, well, it was announced a couple weeks ago. I was joining the Arizona Coyotes, and I'm sitting in the Coyotes offices right now as the chief business officer. And we're looking to revitalize the Coyotes brand and build a new arena here in Phoenix. And that's why I came here.
Nick helped grow the NLL exponentially over the last 6 years. He just stepped down last month, pursuing other interests. He'll stick around to the end of June, help out the league. Obviously, now we know he's a CBO in the NHL. Joining Nick is acting elite from Broadway to the biggest shows on television. You know him from The Walking Dead, The Wire, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's in Seth MacFarlane's The Orville. Chad L. Coleman is a guest this week, too.
Yeah, Seth is a great collaborator. Seth he's not always on. He's there's a lot on his shoulder. Yeah, and there's a lot on his shoulders, and he carries it well.
I mean, yeah, it was pretty cool to talk to someone that you know so well from all the cool shows that you've seen them in. This week's musical guest is also among the elite. In fact, he's one of the hardest working musicians that I know that I can think of. You'll hear him in just a minute. I'd say we're roughly maybe 15 minutes away from Stop Me if you've heard this before. This week, retired NHL goaltender Captain Kirk McLean, talking about facing off against the best of the best. Lemieux, Hull, Sakiewicz, Forsberg, a very cool perspective. That is powered by our buddies at Puff. Get 20% off regularly priced cannabis accessories and apparel. Use the code TODCAST in-store, online at puff.ca. If you need anything Puff related, use that code. Let's keep it around for a bit. Puff, puff, pass it on to your 420 friendly friends. Again, Toddcast at puff.ca and in store. First, let's get to the first of three guests. As mentioned, Age of Electric, Took, Minefield frontman. He's the bassist for Slash, featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators. Todd Kerns, this week's musical guest. It's brought to you by Pineapple Sound, a recording and mixing studio in Langley since 2013. They welcome podcasts as well, of course, bands, but voiceover actors and pretty much whatever you can do in a recording studio. Check them out through pineapplesound.com. And oh, did you know that they rent the studio out as well? Ask Dave about that if you're interested. Now, this is the fifth time on the podcast for Todd Kerns. We go back. I mean, I originally met Todd, it was like 95, 96. And I was the board operator, the board op for 99.3 The Fox. This is when I was taking BCIT's radio course. And I got the part-time job at the Fox, had blinders on, really, to become a DJ at CFox. And you know, back then in the mid-90s, radio was just different. Bands would stop by for a hang. Songs were kind of picked for your playlist using the gut, not the charts. I mean, does it work for the station, essentially, right? Great. If it does, play the song. There was more heart then. And anyway, one night, I'm opping for Jeff O'Neill, who was doing evenings at the time. He's currently their morning show host. And Todd Kerns stopped by the studio for a hang. And you know, at the time, Todd and the rest of the band in Age of Electric were crushing Vancouver's scene. The Kern brothers, the Dahl brothers, just a deadly band. Perhaps they had an advantage over other bands, being that they were a group of brothers.
Well, I would imagine you probably, you get right past the idea of looking for people to play with. I mean,
yes, because you've been playing with them since 6 years old.
Trying to put a band together, you've at least got one other person to kind of do that with. It is funny because people always ask me that, like, some young kid, what should I do to try and find some people to play with? And I always go, I never really think about that because it just sort of happens so organically. But yeah, I think that, there would be something to be said about, like, certain sibling relationships, like the young brothers, Malcolm and Angus, seem to be really symbiotic and like really have a thing, And then you had the Oasis brothers and the Kinks and guys like that who couldn't stand each other, the Black Crowes,
Right.
And which is also part of their dynamic, what I mean? But I don't know. It's certainly, there's some magic there, and there's probably a lot of unspoken stuff. You don't really need to get into a lot of, like, even with music. It happens with musicians too, where you just get to a point where you don't really have to kind of go into detail of what you're talking about. You just know because you've been together all these years.
I'd hilariously told Todd that I'd be quick with him this time around, maybe like 15, 20 minutes kind of thing. I think we got to 55 minutes. Could have easily gone a couple of hours. You can hear it now at iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. You can see the full talk as well at our YouTube channel. You can find everything at Toddcast Podcast. I'd mentioned to Todd that the last time that he was a guest was back in July 2019. This is, of course, pre-COVID, which got us talking about the pandemic. And, since Todd lives in Las Vegas, he talked about how eerie it was to be in the city that never closes down, but was closed down.
It was very strange. And I mean, to be in Vegas, the place that seriously never closes, was surreal, to like, I was doing this show in Vegas with some friends of mine. They have this show called Raiding the Rock Vault, and it's like Howard Leese from Heart and Hugh McDonald from Bon Jovi, all these, like, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame types and sort of a supergroup type idea. And they would do a show 5 nights a week. So I kind of went down as kind of like a fill-in guy and ended up being kind of part of the thing for a while. And it was really fun. And, we would do it at like the Hard Rock, and then it moved over to the Rio, and, when they sort of kind of gave us so here's the thing, this coronavirus you've been hearing about is officially shutting this thing down for, I mean, I think they might have put it to me like, it's going to shut down for a couple weeks, see how it goes,
Right.
And then it was like, I remember okay, whatever. So we did that night, and the next night it was shut down. So I drove over to the Rio to just grab a couple of things that I'd left for the show. I don't know, a jacket or something. And the whole sign had been removed, like the, kind of like the, where they would have like Penn and Teller or whatever.
Like the marquee.
Yeah, like the marquee was just sort of stripped out. And I was like, which I suppose they probably do if there's a new act or something, but I'd never seen it like that. And it felt downright apocalyptic, you know what I mean? Like, and then, it went from being, we're going to take a couple weeks off to being a few months off to literally, as a year or whatever it was. So my wife and I would, like I said, for a couple of weeks, it was just that weird feeling of like, well, when the Netflix thing comes up and goes, are you still watching? And you're like, yes, I am.
Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
And it is really crazy when you think about it. The pandemic closing down the world for a good couple of years. And what are the chances of you being alive? Like living on the planet as it goes down? What are the chances? Of course, the silver lining of the pandemic is the downtime and the creative outbursts from that. So many bands have made new music, new albums. Of course, Todd plays bass in Slash's band, as mentioned, an entirely masterful band when you look at it. I mean, I wish you could put into words how incredible their chemistry is. Miles Kennedy singing, of course, Slash and Brent Fitz is drumming, a phenomenal live band, which you can hear on the newly released album 4.
Well, it was different for a number of reasons because we made it in Nashville, which was already unusual in a sense. I mean? Like we kind of, we took every precaution as far as like, let's get on a bus. We'll just kind of like make sure everybody's negative, get on a bus, go out to Nashville. We stayed in a huge, kind of ranch style, massive place. And then we'll just be like in the studio and back there at the place, at the studio, back there at the place. Food will get ordered in, we'll reduce our chances of getting sick as much as possible. Long story short, like, I think the 6th day of recording, Miles Kennedy was positive. So it was very surreal the other side of it, what makes it so different, I probably should get into, is the fact that we tried to record it as live as possible. And so in reality, this record is very much a live record. There's no click track on it. There's no auto tuning, no sort of, really not any overdubs. I mean, we did end up doing some overdubs, and we had to overdub a little bit of some harmony vocals. And I think Miles might have had to do a lead vocal because he had coronavirus.
Yeah.
But he largely sang with us while we were recording, and 5 days in, we had done, a couple songs a day. That was the record. We wanted to make it a short record. Slash has been talking about doing a short record for, World on Fire was 17 songs in 2014 or whatever we released that record.
Yeah.
And, basically it was a double record almost, So he's always been talking about like when you think of the old Van Halen 2 or something like that, those are short records, you're like sometimes 8 songs,
Mm-hmm.
You're wondering how there's not a dud in the bunch. It's just like boom, goes by in 40 to 45 minutes. But so we recorded 10 songs, and then we did everything, all the drums, all the bass, all the guitars, and a good lion's share of the vocals were done. And then all of a sudden Miles was sick, and then I got sick. Fitz and I went down the same day, and we just sort of had to hang around. We literally hung around that place for a couple of weeks. I think we had to back in those days. A lockdown was, quarantine was 2 weeks. So we just sort of sat there watching. Are you still watching? Yeah, I'm still watching this. So it was refreshing to be kind of finally in the studio doing something, because up to that point we had all been, for all intents and purposes, in lockdown, had been, with our families and our wives just kind of like locked in the house. So
yeah,
we had the opportunity to go and do this was pretty exciting. And then to kind of like go, that's how this is going to go. So we just kind of had to chill. And then we finished it up. Actually, Miles and I did some recording of the vocals at the house that we were staying at. We were actually like, we had to do some harmonies on a couple things. So we just set up a Pro Tools unit there and just sort of recorded the vocals right there and then. And then that was it. It was like, we really were only in Nashville about 3 weeks. So to make a record in 3 weeks, when you consider, I don't know, Hysteria or Chinese Democracy for that matter, some records can go on. Yeah.
And Todd Kerns is one of those artists that has had an enviable career. I mean, and one that he says the best is yet to come, which is nuts when you consider what he's done. Slash, Age of Electric, Static and Stereo. He was in Go Time, Faster Pussycat, of course, the Sin City Sinners, Took, Minefield. He plays the Kiss Cruise as part of Bruce Kulick's band. He has his own podcast on his YouTube channel. He has his own clothing line, Damn It Wear, Anti-Star Designs. And deservedly, he has a star on BC's Entertainment Walk of Fame.
Well, half the time, that kind of stuff, you feel really fraudulent about it half the time. You're kind of like, oh, man. It's like, you kind of feel like, well, you feel very appreciative of it, but there's sometimes you just kind of go, oh, man, I don't know if, that is a really surreal thing to me. I mean, honestly, to this day, a friend of mine, the band Dragon Force just played the Commodore. And my friend goes, yeah, we played the Commodore. I go, dude, my star's just down the street. And I go, and he goes, what? And I was like, it's just a weird thing to kind of just bring up, but it is.
Right. Yeah.
I'm by the Roxy, I don't know, actually. I think in a lot of ways, I think when it comes to Vancouver, I think things like Age of Electric and all that kind of stuff, I think they treated it all as a sort of, my whole career, I suppose, and everything that I've been doing that sort of somehow warrants me being next to Bryan Adams or Colin James or Sarah McLachlan or whoever else. It's it's greatly appreciated, but it's super surreal. But I think that my heart still always belongs in Vancouver. Every time I go back, that is as much as growing up in Saskatchewan, all those major years of my life were spent in Vancouver. To the point now where I'm sure you're not unlike me with my kids, and I go, this used to be that. And that used to be this. This was never here, Yeah,
totally.
I'm that guy now. It's like, so it feels amazing. But I know that, and I keep saying this to my wife, and I think it's one of those interesting things that I kind of feel like I have the audacity to keep thinking like that. I don't think the big thing has really happened yet. It's a weird thing to say at this point in my life, but I still feel like there's still more to do. And I think that's important. You know what I mean? I think it's important to feel that way, because after a while, I just kind of imagine, just going through the motions of it all, but and not really having much to say. So in a lot of ways, during the lockdown, it sort of had me writing a lot and working a lot with other people. And it kind of really opened up another part of my brain of like, you know what? The whole reason we do this is to make music. And to Slash's credit too, he's sort of like, he very easily could just be like phoning it in and playing guitar and being like, whatever. But he's very driven to make new music and to do new things and break new ground. He really has no reason to, but he does it all the time. I think that's the true sign of being an artist.
Musical guests of the Toddcast podcast are powered by Pineapple Sound, providing recording and mixing services for a wide range of artists and genres since 2013. Check them out at pineapplesound.com.
When you're alone, all alone, well, do you think of me? And does your memory serve you well? Do you remember anything? Or do you shudder to think of all the secrets we could tell? Just let me take you there.
Vodka soda powers the Toddcast podcast. Sugar and sweetener free with just 100 calories and 0 carbs per serving. Visit them online at nudebeverages.com. And now, stop me if you've heard this before on the Toddcast podcast.
If you follow NHL hockey, specifically the Vancouver Canucks, you'll know and love Captain Kirk McLean. Growing up in BC, hockey is part of life. And thinking back to the glorious years, the 94 Stanley Cup run, there was a time in my life where I literally never missed a game. I was 20, 21 years old, had a crappy little 2-bedroom apartment in the Okanagan, overlooking Okanagan Lake and the bluffs of Naramata. In those days, hockey was a religion. Pizza, beer, maybe twist something up. My all-time favorite player was and is number one, Kirk McLean. So to have him hanging out in studio for a podcast visit was pretty cool. Talking about his stand-up style of play and the team that was around him at the time with Linden and Bure, Courtnall and Adams, Ronning, Momesso, Lume. Honestly, it took a lot for me not to fanboy this guy. And of course, we talked about the save of 94 and how he got a standing ovation in Montreal while playing for the Canucks. We talked Star Wars, what he did for his 50th birthday party. Vancouver's music scene came up, how he once owned a restaurant, family. So did the shows that he was binge watching at the time. And stop me if you've heard this before. Kirk talked about Jagr, Lemieux, Hull, and all the other tough guys that he played against.
Jagr, for sure.
Jagr.
I just could not get he's such a big guy. Long reach, like Mario. Mm-hmm. So you didn't know if he was going to be passing, shooting, or deking, or whatever.
And strong, too.
Strong, my gosh. Yeah, and quick releases, and so those two. Brett Hull, I always seemed to have a little bit of trouble with him. He just found a way to get open and bang, it's in the net. Stevie Eiserman was a tough one. Joe Sakic. These guys were very good at disguising their shots. Forsberg, another guy that you didn't know what he was, big, strong like Jagr, right? And could find his way to the net, and then just great hands when they get in tight as well.
Stop me if you've heard this before on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Puff, purveyors of quality cannabis accessories since 1995. Use promo code TODCAST and get 20% off regularly priced accessories and apparel in store and online at puff.ca.
I just wanna be your number one, be your happy ever after. Every revolution under the sun should be full of joy and laughter. I just wanna smile upon your face when we wake up in the morning, as we navigate through time and space. I wanna savor every moment. I don't ever wanna stop believing in a better, brighter future. Focus on the things that are redeeming. Having love is a renewer. Baby, I just wanna make the best of every situation. Yeah. Our lungs are fire. Hey. It's burning through everything. Together we will never grow tired, baby. If we remember this, our lungs are fire. Hey. It's burning through everything. Together we will never grow tired, baby. If we remember this, I just want a place that sounds alone. Maybe even start a family. Gonna take a fortune just to own. And the grind is so demanding. Probably gonna have to leave Van City and get us out from under. Things to get away too unforgiving, and it's losing all its wonder. I don't ever wanna stop believing in a better, brighter future. Focus on the things that are redeeming. The love is a renewer. Baby, I just wanna make the best of every situation. Yeah. Our lungs are fire. Hey. It's burning through everything. Together we will never grow tired, baby. If we remember this, our lungs are fire. Hey. It's burning through everything. Together we will
question. One of my favorite Vancouver artists of, let's say last decade. His name is Alex Marr, and a new song for the podcast. It's called Love's a Fire. I don't know that it's super new to him, though. I think the album came out in early 2020. It's kind of a pre-pandemic thing. He's just about to jump on the road, playing a few shows in BC. You can check him out April 8th at Gilton Company in Vancouver, April 14th in Burnaby, April 17th in Chilliwack. There's a couple Whistler shows as well. He's a brilliant performer. He's done a Cheap Thrills, a podcast Cheap Thrills with us, I guess, a few years back now, where I host from stage. There's the Q&A, the acoustic performance. You get to ask questions as well in the audience. Honestly thought I'd have those types of shows rolling again by now, but not yet. But we'll hopefully have them up maybe by the end of summer, right before summer. Who knows? In the next little, feelers are out. Let's say that. Played you Minefield, and that was their song called Alone Together, of course, fronted by this week's musical guest, Todd Kerns. Great song for those guys. I wonder if that project will ever tour and get around to the fans. I dig that. Hope you did as well. Coming up in just a few minutes, in Listen to This, Indie Week founder Daryl Hers talking about the first bands that really grabbed his attention. Cheap Trick, and anyway, I don't want to get into it. I'll spoil it for you. That is powered by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley, RV Service and Repairs, ICBC accredited. You can find them on Facebook and on Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies. Just a rock of a sponsor. They've been with us, I think, into their 6th year now. So big love to Tamara for their unwavering support, like quite literally have helped us continue to crank out this podcast. First, let's get to the second of 3 Toddcast guests this week is our sporting guest, Nick Sakiewicz, former NLL commissioner and the current chief business officer for the Arizona Coyotes. That is powered by Capit Chilliwack, providing the best quality products and services for you and your truck. Tules and tonneau covers, rooftop tents, camping chairs, step bars, floor liners. Expect high quality aftermarket vehicle accessories. Say hi to them for the podcast when you go out that way, or check them out online at facebook.com/Chilliwack Capit. And as mentioned, Nick recently stepped down as commissioner of the NLL. He did that for 6 years. He's moved on to be the CBO of the Arizona Coyotes in the NHL. He has a ton of managerial experience in pro sports, but he also was a pro soccer player as a goalkeeper.
Yeah, I played for almost 7 years as a professional player. Signed my first contract in France as a young 21-year-old, and then played a season there, and then went to Portugal and played a season there. Came back to the U.S. I played 1 season of indoors in New York, and then I finished my career in Tampa for the Tampa Bay Rowdies in 1990. So I guess it was probably 8 years, maybe I played on and off. In the 80s, soccer was a tough sport to make a living at. So we didn't play for the money. We played for the love of the game. And then I retired at a pretty young age. 29 years old for a soccer goalkeeper is young. And then the opportunity to join Major League Soccer came along a few years later. And I joined the league as part of a very small group of executives to start Major League Soccer.
That's amazing. There's a few guys like, hey, we should probably start a league up.
Yeah, well, it wasn't just a few guys. It was Robert Kraft and Phil Anschutz and John Kluge and Stu Subotnick and some Lamar Hunt, the late Lamar Hunt in Kansas City. So they weren't just a few average guys. They were above average and in every way, on and off the field. And then the group that put together with Alan Rothenberg as the founder of the league, and Randy Bernstein and Kathy Carter and Ivan Gazidis and Sunil Gulati and myself was part of that group. We had some terrific other people that joined us, and we launched the league in 96 as our first season. So,
wow.
Not even a soccer league in North America, that's for sure.
I think the full talk with Nick Sakiewicz is just over 20 minutes long. You can hear it, you can see it. We did it on Zoom. On our social media platforms, all under @Toddcast Podcast, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube. We went deep into his career in pro sports, and we went into other areas as well, like 80s music. He talked about Queen, the Stones, Santana, how COVID took a toll on everyone. We talked about family, and how he likes to watch UFC fights with his kids.
Yeah, my sons and I, we love MMA. We love UFC fights, and yeah, we're into that. Any chance we are together and there's a fight on, we're watching it together.
Yeah, that's great. I love fight. Who's your favorites? Yeah, favorites.
Oh, favorites. I just enjoy like the big matchups. So I guess Conor McGregor is kind of my favorite. I have a European culture and a background, and I kind of get him a little bit from a European standpoint. But
did you see
yeah,
that?
I just like
he had with Poirier and he broke his leg.
No, I didn't see that one.
We really did cover a lot of ground at that time with Nick, talking about his first concert, seeing Ted Nugent, how he beat leukemia. We talked about worst jobs. And of course, knowing that Nick helped start the MLS. No kidding. He had a hand in launching Major League Soccer here in North America. He did 6 years as a commissioner of the NLL, helped expand the league, of course, oversaw the sale and move of the Vancouver Stealth to rebrand as the Vancouver Warriors. He was a founder, operational partner, and CEO of the Philadelphia Union. Of course, mentioned he played professionally. I had to ask him if you could pick one career highlight, or was that even possible?
No chance. There are so many. The journey's been amazing. You know, the launch of Major League Soccer in '96, the success that we had in Tampa, leading the league in attendance and being one of the flagship teams in the league. That was great success. Then the groundbreaking in New York and getting Red Bull Arena in the ground. That was a tremendous day. Almost winning we won the Eastern Conference Championship in New York. That was exciting. And then going to Philly and breaking ground on another stadium in Philadelphia, bringing soccer to the Philadelphia marketplace, bringing Major League Soccer to that city and leading that effort, building that stadium, founding the Philadelphia Union, revitalizing the NLL. You know, when I took it over,
wow,
30 league, that was 9 teams going to 7. It was just really, we did triage there in the early days, and today it's a 15-team league and on its way to 16 teams. I'm really proud of that accomplishment. So a lot of great moments, Todd, a lot of great moments.
Toddcast Sporting Guest visits are powered by Capit Chilliwack, providing the best quality products and services for you and your truck. Online at facebook.com/ChilliwackCapit.
Down south in a little border town was a place you'll never believe it. She worked the till at the corner store
The Toddcast Podcast is powered by Milano Coffee, bringing you the finest espresso and coffee concepts in the world. Online at milanocoffee.ca. And now, listen to this on the Toddcast Podcast.
Daryl Hers is well known in Canada's music industry for multiple reasons. You've been going to his events for over a couple of decades. If you remember and maybe went to any of the shows for Earth Hour a few years back, it was on 5 time zones, 140 venues, 140 bands. That was Daryl's handiwork. He worked freelance for Live Nation for over a decade, created and launched Indie Week Toronto, over 200 bands at that music festival. He's part of RIFF, the Real Indie Film Fest. He has a hand in the IBF, which is the Indie Beer Fest. He's an owner of Indie 101. He's the managing director of Downtown Canada, which represents Fuga, Song Trust, Downtown Music Services, AdRev, CD Baby. Where does this guy find the time? And when Daryl was a guest, we talked about starting up Indie Week, the difficulties of present day versus when they launched. He talked about binge watching Nashville. Neil Diamond and Olivia Newton-John came up. So did legalized marijuana, seeing the Foo Fighters in concert. We talked about comic books, aliens visiting Earth, the music in his house as a kid growing up. And as a huge part of Canada's music scene, Daryl talked about the first bands to really grab a hold of him. Listen to this.
I listened to everything, you know. A real big one early was Cheap Trick.
Yeah, great band.
Cheap Trick, Bay City Rollers.
Wow. Saturday.
Yeah. Well, they also had the Saturday morning show.
Oh, did they really? Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, they had a show every Saturday morning, and as a kid, I would watch anything that was music, you know.
Listen to This on the Toddcast Podcast is brought to you by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley, an ICBC approved repair shop. Find them online at TedcoRVSuppliesInc.com.
Washing over our heads as our eyes go back to sleep again. The future's fading, the future's fading. In the light we build a world of darkness, lost in our own ignorance. While a forest raging, a forest raging. Wake up! When the world awakens, we can begin. When the world awakens, when the world awakes, if the world was one and we could stand
guess we've kind of come to expect those powerful songs from the Veer Union, haven't we? New music for those guys, new music for the podcast. It's called When the World Awakens, and you can find that on their new album called Manifestations, which is out pretty quick, April 8th. No doubt you will see that one live. They're playing at the Roxy, downtown Vancouver, in a couple of days. March 31st, maybe we'll see you there, and then they're off on their big tour. You heard Bend Sinister, B-E-N-D, Bend Sinister, and their song was Rock and Roll, and you can see them live April 21st at the Hollywood Theatre in Vancouver in a really good show. Chase the Bear, Sleep Shake, and Ripple Illusion open up the night. The doors are at 7:30. Show starts at 8:30, and it's only $20. Speaking of live music, find a small list of shows like those ones happening locally with the indie scene at toddhancock.ca. If you're going to check one out, or maybe you're playing a show, let us know about it. We'll post it up at the website. That is brought to you by Mystic Rhythms Rehearsal Studios. 40 plus years. That's big time. 40 plus years experience in the music industry. It's a great place to jam. You can find out more through mysticrhythms.ca. Okay, our final guest of episode 270 is actor Chad L. Coleman, this week's entertainment guest, brought to you by Sacred Meds, sacredmeds.com. The code TODCAST gives you 20% off till the end of the month. And this is the final podcast that they're sponsoring. They've decided to move along to other marketing options. Of course, a big thanks to Avi and the team there. They did 12-month sponsorship. Time flies when you're doing the monthly unboxings. So yeah, this week, you know Chad from so many good shows. Of course, he played Tyrese in one of the biggest TV shows of all time, The Walking Dead, The Wire. He was in that, played Cuddy. He was Zed in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He was in The Green Hornet, Horrible Bosses. You'll see him in the remake of the 1977 miniseries Roots. Lawrence Fishburne's in that one as well. That's out May 30th.
Well, you know, the blueprint is the words on the page. So that written word on the page should be our Bible, if you will.
Yeah.
And everyone should be listening to each other. And everyone's goal should not be, oh, how I'm going to come off so great in the scene, but how do we tell this story? So you run into problems when people are like showing off and want to, you know, just, you know, chew up the scenery with how great of an actor they are.
Right.
And but when you get actors completely listening and present with each other and honoring the story, and you get a good director who can really sit back there and look through that square and see what's going down, you can get it anytime. It's probably easier than it is for a basketball or football team. But you do know how much they practice.
Yes, exactly.
so I can't, you know, if we could get some good rehearsal time in, which is a premium. So I would say that we have to come with our A game, our collaborative A game.
Right. Yeah.
And when we do that, oh yeah, we can hit on some pretty amazing stuff. I was just finished working on Girls 5 Ever. And just finished. I'm working on 3 Women for Showtime, and each one of these sets is supremely A game, present, listening. Let's tell the story, and I've been having a great time. And that goes for all those shows that you named off. You know, it's people showing up with the intended goal to make the show the best it can be. And yes, we're going to bump heads. Yes, that's a part of the collaborative process.
Yeah.
Yes, you got to figure it out. Yes, the energy of another actor could possibly have, as you said, your synapses jumping and you didn't expect it. You know what I mean? And so you have to breathe in, breathe out, and continue to relax. Just relax into it. And, you know, we do get take 1, take 2, take 3, take 4, take 5.
Right.
So with that, we got a good shot at it.
That was a great talk. The full chat with Chad L. Coleman is now posted. It's just over a half hour long. You can see it. You can hear it. Another one of those Zoom chats on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube. And we talked about a lot of stuff, like the fact that he spent 4 years in the Army. We talked about aliens and free will. Comic books came up. I mean, the kid's got chops, right? What a beauty. Super chill. He's laid back. He's engaged in the conversation. He's a really good storyteller, which you'll hear plenty of in his new podcast. That's called the Humble Hollywood Podcast with Chad, which is launching next month.
Well, you know what? First and foremost, this is going to be strange, but I always love the radio DJ. Kirby Carmichael, the rockin' jock, and always wanted to be the broadcaster, Chad Coleman, CBS News reporting. That's why I was fascinated with communications as well. Acting is a form of communication too. So language and, Shakespeare and things, just language, really loving language. And the art of conversation, man. A good conversation is incredibly nurturing. A great conversation can do wonders for divisiveness, ignorance, fear, if you're willing to just open up and have that conversation. So we're trying to nurture the audience and just build more connectivity and get away from the divisiveness and just have fun, have a good time talking to one another, especially during this time, the pandemic. You can't go here, there, and everywhere. So you can sit and listen and be nurtured by good conversation and compelling human beings. And we can do it in a way that's kind, and we can do it in a way that's uplifting, and we can do it in a way that's fun. Because if I can live, learn, laugh.
Repeat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think I'm going to jump on that Zoom call for the launch of Chad's podcast. Be cool to see what goes down and how they execute it. It was a really good talk. I mean, we shared the story of his first concert experience, which was the Sugar Hill Gang. We talked about basketball and football, invisibility, curiosity, the Obamas. And I think regardless of the profession, it's nice to get backslaps and accolades from the people who paved the way. And when I asked Chad to talk about career highlights, you'll love his reply.
Yeah, Broadway. I was on Broadway, and the President Obama and the First Lady Michelle, they came to see the show. It was August Wilson, Joe Turner's Come and Gone. So that's truly the highlight for me. Everything else is a incredible blessing, but I came from the theater, and so to be able to do August Wilson's work on Broadway, and not only that, Meryl Streep was with them. And so the Secret Service snatched them up afterwards. And Meryl came backstage. And I just saw this woman coming towards me. And then she just kissed me in the mouth. And she was crying. And she said, "You're an amazing actor." And I said, "Oh, my God." And then that's when I was like, "No, forget the president. You're the president of actors." So thank you for that experience. And she was explaining that the Secret Service had to snatch them up and that they wanted to come backstage. So that was the tops for me.
Toddcast Podcast entertainment guest visits are powered by Sacred Meds, the best cannabis and psilocybin dispensary in Canada. Available online at sacredmeds.com. Use promo code TODCAST at checkout for 10% off everything in store.
Oh, I've heard this is how it goes. Yeah. And I guess I'm no different. Well, I'm no different, and now I know. Yeah, 'cause I'm okay always. Calling on you, I'm calling on
I've heard this is what we do. And I think now I feel it. Oh, I feel it because of you. Yeah, and I'm okay always. Calling on you. Calling, I'm calling on you. Loving on you. Loving, yeah. Calling on you. Calling, oh, I'm calling on you. Loving on you. Oh, baby, baby. Yeah, you used to think, and so did I. What we had would go right, 'cause that's how you've seen it go. Oh. Baby, not for us, I know. Calling on you. Calling, I'm calling on you. Loving on you. Loving, yeah, yeah, yeah. Calling on you. Calling, oh, I'm calling on you. Loving on you.
There is just something about that guy's music that I absolutely love. His name is Ivan Hartle, and a fantastic song for him called Lovin' On You. Now, Ivan just played the Biltmore Cabaret in Vancouver just a few nights back on the 25th. This is part of the Set the Scene that they're doing here in Vancouver. He's deadly. If you get the chance to see him in person, right before COVID hit, he'd actually played at the Biltmore. I saw that. It was, it's a cool room, right? It's a laid back vibe. Ivan Hartle fits that room just right. And I was hooked. But on a very nice, intimate night, I stuck around, in fact, afterwards to tell him just how good it was and introduce myself. Looking forward to next week. Rate Your Skype Room creator, Jesse Berry, is a guest.
In the beginning, when the offices were all closed. And so it was a Sunday, April 12th, and it was about at noon, and we were just randomly talking on the phone, and he said something like, "Oh, you should see so-and-so on MSNBC right now. They have laundry in the background. Can you believe it? That would be a 6 or something like that." And then he said, maybe we should start a Twitter account and rate the rooms.
Joining Jesse Berry next week is Canadian rock band Deer Rouge and longtime Vancouver sports personality Rick Dollywell. It's a big week.
Your best way to hit the slopes this winter is with the Cypress Mountain Sky Card. Visit cypressmountain.com for details.
And big love to Joffrey and Bobby and the team up at Cypress. They've hooked up the podcast with season passes for 5 years straight. We love riding there. Still some really good conditions. We were up just over spring break a couple times. So if you're thinking of going, you might want to head up. Of course, want to give a big thanks to this week's guests as well before we wrap things up. Todd Kerns, I don't know many Todds, but from the handful that I do know, you're my favorite. And it's not just because you rock like fuck. Thank you, dude, for the unprecedented 5th podcast visit, for all your support over the years, for retweeting of my constant, damn near incessant online marketing of the Cheap Thrills show that you did with us just before the pandemic. I would say you retweet 99.3% of it. Former NLL commissioner, now the chief business officer for the Arizona Coyotes, Nick Sakiewicz. Thank you so much for jumping on with us, especially on the day that you did. I mean, it's hockey trade deadline day. I can appreciate just how busy you would be on that day. It's very cool to get some insight into your world, and really thankful that you were open to coming on the podcast. I would say best of luck to you and the Coyotes, but go Canucks, go. And actor Chad L. Coleman, same to you, my friend. Thank you for being a guest, and can't wait for the podcast launch party. I'll pop by definitely online and show some love there. And, without fanboying too much, it's cool to see that you were as cool as I hoped that you would be. Best of luck with that podcast, the Humble Hollywood Podcast with Chad. As we put an end to this podcast, episode 270, my name is Todd Hancock. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard, please do tell your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube. Comment and rate that podcast as well. It helps out. Huge thanks to all of our amazing sponsors. You can find links to all sponsor websites at toddhancock.ca. If you'd like to sponsor the podcast, you can for as little as $10 a day. Contact info is at the homepage. Maybe we'll have a beer, have a coffee, see what's up. And if you help us find a sponsor, as always, we will give you a commission based on the ad buy. So keep that in mind. If you know a business that gets it, social media is, it's a little bit different, but if they get it, shoot them our way and we'll take it from there. Till next week. Don't be an asshole. Nobody wants to be around that. Have fun, play hard, and most of all, believe in yourself.
The Toddcast Podcast. Keep in touch with Todd through Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and bookmark toddhancock.ca.
For 8 years, we've been asking the same question over and over again. How did this happen? My name's Mandy.
And I'm Melissa, and we're the hosts of Moms and Mysteries, the true crime podcast with over 55 million downloads.
We're two Florida moms who are obsessed with mysteries. Each week, we do deep dives into fascinating true crime stories.
We cover everything from infamous cases like Casey Anthony
to the bizarre and complex crimes right here in our home state, like the shocking murder of FSU professor Dan Markell.
We bring you the facts, but with warmth and wit you'd only get from two friends who have been hooked on mysteries since childhood.
Join us for new episodes of Moms and Mysteries every Tuesday and Thursday.
Listen to Moms and Mysteries on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast.
The Tudors were probably the most scandalous dynasty in British history. This season on Vulgar History, we're spilling the tea on this messy, messed up family and the people who had to live through it all. Anne Boleyn and the other wives of Henry VIII are known today from the musical Six, but who were they really? Did any of them actually want to marry him? Henry VIII, the man who was literally the worst? How did two of them manage to escape with their heads intact? We'll also get into historical mysteries, like who really wrote Shakespeare's plays? Who was the real Bloody Mary? And what was happening elsewhere in the world while the Tudors were trampling all over England, like the mysterious disappearance of the Roanoke colony and the true story of the girl known as Pocahontas. I'll be joined by Tudor historians, experts, and a few of my friends who really hate Henry VIII to learn all about the Tudors this season on Vulgar History. Because it's Henry VIII all day, every day. Listen to Vulgar History wherever you get podcasts.
Oh, please, not that music. That music gives me nightmares from my childhood.
Could we get something a little bit lighter? Some lighter music here.
Are you a fan of true crime TV shows?
And what about Unsolved Mysteries, the show that jump-started all of our love of true crime?
I'm Ellen Marsh.
And I'm Joey Taranto.
And we host I Think Not, a true crime comedy podcast covering some of the wildest stories from your favorite true crime campy TV shows all the way to Unsolved Mysteries.
Baby, you will laugh, you will cry, you'll think about true crime in a whole new way, and you'll also ask yourself, who gave these people mics?
New episodes of I Think Not are released every Wednesday with bonus episodes out every Thursday on Patreon.
And every Monday, you can listen to our True Crime Rundown, where we go over the top true crime headlines of the week.
So come and join us wherever you listen to your podcasts.